Listen, anytime, any place, anywhere, I'll fight you in your back garden. Like a dumb Klitschko, I'll beat you, you bum. You're a bum.
I want to unify. Is he up for the challenge? Like I said, you know, this is not a battle, this is war because I was born in this.
Why am I sitting there like a spare dick away? While you are sitting in your mum's spare room, just tickling your bollocks.
Come see me, baby. No more hiding, no more ducking, no more dodging, no more excuses. Let's make the fight happen. Let's see who's the best. I know I'm the best. Are you up for the test?
I'm through. Hey, put somebody else up and give me an interview. What are you talking about? You never give me a fair shake. HBO needs to fire you. You don't know shit about boxing. You ain't shit. You're not shit. I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass.
Negative. I'm good. I beat Polly. I left with his belt and his girl.
Fucking was too fast. But it wasn't so much about it, was just that he was so fucking fast. Fast.
Amazingly fast.
Fucking amazingly fast. I was like, I thought Freddie was in there fucking hitting me too. So.
Any of you radio personalities think you want smoke? Call me Mr. Chimney. I want smoke.
Yes. What is up, MCR family? Another daily edition of the show live on YouTube, obviously podcast from iTunes, Spotify, radio, etc. I'm Matt, the Hipster Hunter. Find me, Matt Hunter, MCR, all platforms. Going to talk about all things boxing today. Tyson Fury creating some storylines and drama out of thin air, I believe and hope so. Plus a litany of heavyweight news to get to, Rob. Like, I feel like a ton of fight announcements are out there for the heavyweight division. Some Wilder Fury news to get to as well. Plus some Lomachenko, Teofimo Lopez news that definitely has our boy Fugatti stressed. Like, he is... There's a reason he's not on this show, guys. Come on. We know why.
Just send me location.
We know why. Because we all know why. He's scared. He's scared that Teofimo Lopez is going to take his boy's scalp. But we're going to get to that later on in the show. Plus some confirmation of the PBC WME sort of negotiations/sale via Mike Coppinger. So a lot to get to on this show, a lot to break down, not only with our opinions, but yours. So call in 323-870-4051. Press 1 to get in the queue. International callers, add us on Skype. Of course, like I said, I'm joined, as usual, by the illustrious, the one and only, the second cousin, twice removed, of Sir Eddie. Rob, how you doing, man?
All good.
With the nice shirt.
Thank you very much. Mixed Cover Radio.
With you know, by the way, that merchandise might be available soon on our new website. Yes. MixedCombatRadio.com. Go check out our new renovated website. Back to you, Rob.
Yeah, I'm just going to put a link in the chat. Oh, no. Did I spell it right?
No, I don't think it lets you put links. I'll do it. I can do it.
It normally does. But anyway, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, just some boxing news to get into. So, yeah. If anyone listened to the Fight Disciples podcast, that's where the Lomachenko Lopez undisputed fight, if route A, B, C, D, all, if the stars all align, they'll be good. So, anyway, yeah, we'll obviously get to that one. So let's go.
Yeah, shout out to the chat. Like, not let me put the link in. Like, it keeps wanting just at my name. There we go. Link's finally in there. Go check out our new website. But digressing, let's get back to the topics. Tyson Fury creating, sort of, how would you describe it, Rob? Is it purely just him trolling? Is there some validity to it? This article coming by way of boxingnewsonline.net. Tyson Fury makes surprise claim that he could fight for a WBO title. And it sort of alludes to the idea that the title will be on the line almost like retroactively. That if AJ Ruiz, the rematch does not get made, or at least does not get made ASAP, the WBO might sort of strip Ruiz of the belt and then after the fact, after Fury Schwartz award the winner of that fight the belt. Rob, A, is that sort of your understanding of what Fury is claiming here? And B, your thoughts on the claim itself? I talked a little bit about it also on our championship round show earlier today on Patreon, patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio. Rob, your thoughts on Fury making the claim that the WBO title might be on the line for him and Schwartz?
Yeah, I mean, look, the WBA obviously synonymous with Bob Arum and Top Rank.
Oh, but WBO.
Sorry, WBO. Yeah, so maybe something can be done. But interestingly enough, Tom Schwartz is actually the WBO Intercontinental Champion. So, but I think he was referring to the former.
Yes.
I think he was referring to the full world title, but let's be honest, like with with fight week, there's like 5 days to go. Are they really gonna strip Ruiz, as he's currently, in the presidential?
Well, that's why I said what I said is that the particulars of this news is that it won't be the next 5 days. It would be after the fact. That it's not gonna. They're not gonna make. WBO is not gonna make this decision this week before the fight. They're gonna make this decision post the fight if AJ Ruiz does not get finalized. That if that gets pushed back in any way, if that negotiations get drawn out, that is what the article is saying.
I don't see it happening, to be honest. Surely they would just enforce. If it looks like it's not going to happen, they would enforce a mandatory upon Ruiz rather than just say, let these two guys fight it out this week, and if nothing comes of it, we'll just hand the title to one of those. I don't know. I don't see it happening. I think whether Fury's just trying to cause a stir, but he kind of how did he word it? Like maybe I'm saying stuff that I shouldn't be saying, or.
His exact quote is, "I'm hearing now that it could be on the line on Saturday night." Fury told Press Association Sport. That's inside information, so maybe I shouldn't have said that. Though I've said it now anyway, so maybe it will be on the line on Saturday night. There's a chance. It's highly doable, so I've been told. So maybe it would be for the WBO championship as well. He adds, "When you're the lineal champion, that's as big as it gets. It doesn't get any bigger than that. It doesn't matter how many belts the other heavyweights have got. They've got to beat Tyson Fury to be number one." And he goes on and on and on. I think that this is just Tyson Fury talking about his ass, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, we saw this week that his lovely tweet about Anthony Joshua didn't last more than a day. So, although his account has been hacked, it's apparently been confirmed because he went from nearly 1 million followers to like 156,000. So maybe he didn't even write the nice the nice tweet.
That would be funny if that was him.
Yeah.
It would make more sense too. But I think we're both in agreement here. We don't need to dwell on this topic honestly for that long. Fury is 100% trolling the boxing fan base, the community, as he always does. Let's just be honest about that. Moving on, though, sticking to heavyweights and sort of running through all the heavyweight news since we're on this division. Joseph Parker's next fight is confirmed for his sort of DAZN and Matchroom debut against Eric Molina, June 29th. I don't think there's been a venue associated with it yet. But, I mean, Rob, do you like this fight? I mean, it's an all right fight. He had two sort of air quote tough losses back-to-back with AJ and Dylan White. I'm okay with him taking a couple sort of tune-ups on his way back to like top 10 opposition, top 15 opposition. Eric Molina is a top 30 heavyweight, top 25 heavyweight. It makes sense. It's not going to be the most exciting name, I'll put it that way, though. But it does make sense for Joseph Parker in his career. I'm not too upset with it, though it doesn't really excite me, Rob, your thoughts on this matchup and this announcement?
Yeah, this is going to be on the Andrade Selecki card, right? So it's a decent fight. for the card, I think. Yeah, I got no problem with it. Parker needs to, get a few wins under his belt, and I guess they'll look to make him somewhat of a player again in the division. Can maybe see him potentially maybe meeting like a Usyk after a Takam fight, maybe because Takam is apparently still the opponent, and it's looking like September for Usyk. So I don't know.
By
I
the
can
way,
see
I love that they kept that matchup together. I know you like originally when they're talking about like Michael Hunter versus Takam and stuff like that, you were more in favor of that and I wasn't. I'm glad that they decided to listen to me instead of you. Shout out to Cousin Eddie.
yeah, it's always nice to be right, right?
It is.
I've been on a hot streak, obviously recently. What with the nice white background on the new website,
Hey,
but
digressing.
but yeah, no, I'm not. I know Molina. Last time I sort of saw Molina was when he was a cowering, quivering human being after a round with Joshua, and then getting finished in the second or the third.
Damn, that's
He
harsh.
didn't really come to, I think he came for the money on that one. He didn't look like he was very interested in fighting Joshua, but no, it's a name opponent that we know the guy. He's gave Wilder a mini scare during their fight. So he's known, and it's just a good sort of part of the comeback trail for Joseph Parker after his back-to-back losses. I think he's already had one sort of comeback fight, so this is just more of a. And obviously, it's on a DAZN, and yeah, it's a decent enough fight. Something where he could look good, probably get a knockout, and yeah, show us that he's sort of back as some kind of a player in the division somewhere down the line soon.
Agreed. Also, speaking of heavyweights, and also sort of on a connection to Usyk, we mentioned, former opponent Marat Gassiev making his heavyweight debut against the rumored sparring partner that infamously knocked out AJ the week before his fight. Yes, Gassiev versus Dewalko is official for July 27th, Arlington, Texas. What card is that? Hook Ramirez. That's a good card, man. I forget the exact card, like in terms of its entire bout order, but I remember looking at it and going like, this is one to watch. Like this is one I may pay attention to like the whole day, sit there, watch all the prelims, and be entertained because there's a lot of sleeper hits there on this undercard. Rob, thoughts on obviously Gassiev's debut and the connection to Joey Dewalko in any sense? I know you've been the only person on this panel, including Fu, that has peddled in the whole conspiracy theories about AJ. So your thoughts on Dewalko getting sort of either, depending how you look on it, the punishment for knocking out AJ by fighting Gassiev, or the reward in fighting Gassiev. So your thoughts on this sort of matchup and the potential conspiracy theories that we can talk about.
We'll give you a fight as long as you keep your mouth shut, Joey. So,
and they gave him this fight. Damn, poor guy.
Yeah. Well, you say poor guy. He's been campaigning at heavyweight a lot longer than Gassiev has.
True. And he knocked out AJ. Wink, wink. All right.
Exactly. Look, 87-year-old Bob Arum with 60 years experience in the game said, "I don't know what's gone on, but that was not the Joshua that we know."
Oh my God.
You got to bow down to the knowledge. But yeah, no, yeah, it'd be interesting to see Gassiev making that move. Strangely, we're going to see Gassiev before we see Usyk at heavyweight. So,
not originally, but yeah, that is sad and interesting.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's I don't know. Feel like it could be somewhat of a test for Gassiev in a way, because he's not a big cruiserweight, right? He doesn't. I mean, he definitely looks smaller than Usyk when they fought. So I don't know. Could be interesting. Could be. Dewalko looks like he's a bit of a. He's a tough guy. Could take a bunch of bunch of punishment, and obviously, as we know, he can dish it out on the elite level, sort of.
Well, air quotes, no. Come on, like
He got a draw with Big Baby.
that is true. It's like Dewalko's not a bad opponent. Like I'll put that this way: Dewalko's a good top 30 heavyweight. You know what I mean? Like he's a guy that's fought good opposition. Never really beat anyone that's like a great name, but decent opponent for Gassiev heavyweight debut, especially since he's the guy that did lose to Usyk and Usyk's getting the tougher fight. It makes sense.
I feel like Dewalko's kind of made a good trade for himself going around as a sparring partner, to be honest, and that
There's good money in it in the heavyweight division.
yeah, and I feel like it hasn't maybe quite slotted into place for him as far as his actual fighting career, his actual pro career, but he's gone out on the scene and done himself. I guess he's doing all right off the back of sparring. Seems to think remembering being in other people's camps and obviously traveling the world, getting paid decent, and
he's and Dewalko's fought like Brian Jennings, Sergey Kuzma. He's fought like a ton of guys. He's been a well-traveled heavyweight. I'll put it that way. Moving on, though, sticking on heavyweight news, check out this podcast, Fight Disciples podcast. They did an interview with Bob Arum. It's a short one. It's only like 21 minutes. Super short. It's a decent interview. But they cover two topics. One heavyweight, one is the Lopez news, which we will get to in a second. But let's talk first about some Wilder Fury confirmation. Right? Not really news, more just a confirmation of things that we sort of knew. But let's hear what Bob Arum had to say.
If Wilder comes through and Fury comes through, and then we're all set. We have an understanding as far as American networks sharing the telecast, all of that stuff. We're ready to go for a fight probably in the first quarter of next year.
So, again, if you didn't hear it, I try to put some emphasis on it. The network sharing is just a confirmation that Showtime, most likely, because Mike Coppinger went on his new live chat, whatever it is. It's not like a YouTube thing. It's like what Dan did right back in the day, or it still does. Does Dan still do that? No, he doesn't, right? Yeah, that's right.
He hasn't got his show either, right?
That's right, poor Dan. Never mind. Digressing from that point. But Mike said that it most likely Wilder's not fighting on Fox anytime soon. And I would assume anytime soon includes the Fury fight. So most likely it would be a Showtime and ESPN co-pay-per-view deal for that first fight. And then the third fight in the total sort of trilogy with Wilder Fury, the second fight on this new contract, the sort of rematch clause in a sense, that I think is yet to be stated what exactly the network deal will be for that. But I think it's going to mirror how the percentage splits will be altered depending on who will win the second fight. Similar to, I think, who will have control of the network and venue would be determined by who won the second fight. But Rob, your thoughts on basically just the confirmation that, yeah, Showtime, ESPN, co-pay-per-view, Wilder Fury 2, first quarter of next year.
Yeah, I mean,
and also I will say this Arum is now the highest level official involved here to confirm this is A, happening, and to then B, give really specific details on it happening. So it seems like anyone out there having some theory about it not actually taking place and Wilder Fury is a sham and it's not actually going to happen, I think it's going to happen, guys. I think there's a contract there, obviously.
I don't necessarily know that there's 100% a contract, but just that there's an agreement. I think it's been obviously really discussed and they've got an agreement on it. Whether contracts, because I think Fury was in an IFL interview. He didn't sort of suggest that it's all signed, sealed, and delivered, but it was more that like agreements have been made, I think. But I think it all seems to be leading to this point anyway. So we I think we can believe it's happening. And like you say, Bob sort of confirming that the networks have kind of got an agreement about like network sharing or what, it being shared, kind of alludes to the fact that they've talked about it. They're going to do a sort of split pay-per-view kind of deal. So
Similar to
yeah.
HBO Showtime back in the day.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of more than enough sort of, I would say, proof that it's going ahead, and and all that. But like he sort of said, I think we can Fury should come through Schwartz, and I guess a lot of people would assume that Wilder comes through Ortiz. Fury's going to fight again this year, but I don't know. I don't see Wilder fighting again this year. So Kalnaki's doing his thing and not getting that shot that he was sort of allegedly getting, that he was part of that whole, Wilder not fighting AJ at the time, and I've got this fight. So I think Wilder, get Ortiz out of the way, put his feet up for the rest of the year. While Fury, he said he wants another 2 this year, but Bob Arum kind of went, no, I don't know where he's saying that the plan is one more this year. Look at Wilder in the spring, first quarter.
Back to this podcast and switching over to a different division, lightweight, Lomachenko, Teofimo Lopez, and them having like contracts in place or something to that effect. Let's hear what Bob has to say about that. And again, Fugatti, after listening, I'm sorry, man. Sorry. Pour one out for your man.
Pause.
Everything is really in our control, and we have contracts for everything, except the one thing that can derail this is if Luke Campbell beats Lomachenko. If he beats Lomachenko, I have no understanding with Campbell or any that he's going to fight anybody. Yep. He's the free agent to do what he wants with his 3 titles at that point. Mm-hmm. But if Loma beats Campbell and everything happens, it's all signed by everybody.
Yep.
To lead to the Teofimo fighting for the title, and then if Loma is the champion with 3 belts, to fight Loma.
Wow. So that would probably be spring, summer next year, Bob?
Yeah, right. Maybe the first quarter. We'll see. First quarter, but latest April.
So yes, Fu, be scared. Be afraid. Be very, very afraid. Are you shocked by this? I'm a little bit shocked by this. Not that Bob obviously has the plan of this. I think that was already set in stone, and not set in stone. He already said that was the plan. But the fact that there are contracts signed, assumingly between the Teofimo team and Team Lopez and Team Lomachenko for a 2020 fight when they can unify. Are you as shocked as me that there are actual quote contracts signed, as Bob Arum put it?
Yeah, when I was sort of listening to it on my way into work, and I went, wait, so that's happening? Wait, what? Rewind. Let me listen to that again. A bit blurry eyed on my way to work at like 6:30 in the morning, and I was like, I got to listen to that again. And I was like, yeah. I thought before I send Matt the news, let me double check, because it might not be what I'm hearing, but it was. I guess when you've got the guys in your stable, these plans can be kind of made or thought about, but actual contracts, I mean,
it's a little bit different. Especially when there's so many moving parts. Not only do we have obviously the Campbell fight, which I think people are writing off Campbell, even though I'm in a sense writing off Campbell. I think people are writing him off too much, to put it that way. But Teofimo has a hard road to get to Loma. I mean, not only does the Nakatini fight probably not going to present as much of an issue, but the Richard Comey fight alone, that's a really tough test to pass. And then also to assume that you're going to pass and then to sign a contract for a Lomachenko fight after that. That just seems again, like extra shocking. I'm not surprised by Teofimo to do that because Teofimo seems like the guy to sign contracts like that. He seems like he has the cojones to do that.
I'm surprised he didn't throw his hat in the ring to fight fucking Joshua when he was looking for an opponent.
Like Teofimo was that guy, but like Bob Arum, I'm shocked he has contracts signed and everything like that. Just it seems innovative in a way, but also quite like you're asking for trouble at this point. You know what I mean? Like you're asking the boxing gods to upset your plans when you lay them out in this way. But hell, I mean, like I've said this before, I'm a Teofimo Lopez fan. I think if he goes the path and beats Comey and all this stuff, yeah, he can fight Lomachenko. That would make absolute sense. If he beats Comey, he absolutely deserves that shot. But damn, 2020, early spring, let's go. I'm hyped.
Let's just pump the brakes because August 31st,
okay,
Luke Campbell's going to fuck the whole thing up.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Just put some respect on the gold medalist.
You disrespect boxing, you piece of shit!
Exactly. Yeah. So let's just see. Let part one of the plan actually happen before 3, 4, and 5 or whatever have to happen to get this. But yeah, great news. I mean, look, obviously I'm rooting for Campbell. Maybe it's not odds on that he's going to do it, and Lomachenko will be sat kicking his heels up, waiting for Teofimo to take his to get through his 2 fights before their fight comes around. But no, I like it. I guess, like I say, when you've kind of got the division sort of locked down as far as champions, you can make these plans. But yeah, to have contracts signed, yeah, that's well played, Bob Arum kind of thing. Giving us the, because a lot of people are like, well, Teofimo, yeah, you're good. You're knocking guys out. You're doing all your Fortnite dances and your backflips and whatever, and you're talking all that good stuff, but let's see you fight somebody first, like someone
Well, yeah, that's why the Comey fight makes sense. Like,
yeah. And obviously he gets a share of the, the belts. He's got his IBF belt there and goes into the Loma fight. But, this kid pushing it quick. He basically said that's the plan. And if that plan can't come off, he's definitely moving up because he's really filling out with the weight now and finding it hard to or it's becoming a problem making 135. So it's kind of this route, and then it's moving on. And if, like I say, Luke Campbell, does he stick around to fight? I think he wanted the Loma fight. So if Luke Campbell wins, I don't know if we see a Teofimo fight because obviously Luke Campbell, there's going to be obviously Devin Haney and I forgot the is it Akhimendov or something like that?
No, Abdulaev.
Abdulaev, sorry,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
I think Haney. I think Eddie Hearn said on Instagram Live that Haney will be out again in. Did he say September?
I think so.
So yeah, and whether that's the Abdulaev fight, I'm not sure, but that's kind of what the WBC kind of put out there as their little tournament that Teofimo kind of said no, he's doing the IBF route. So I guess it'll be Haney looking for that spot, So potentially it could be, we'll see Lomachenko and Haney down the line. Who knows? But also, I think Haney has said he wants to become a world champion at 135 before he moves up. But also, I think it's getting a little tricky for him to do the weight as well. But yeah, it's exciting times in the lightweight division, I think.
Agreed. Remember, guys, call in 323-870-4051. Press 1 to get in the queue. International callers call in on Skype, Mixed Combat Radio. Let's get to this sort of confirmation of the PBC negotiations with WME, William Morris Endeavor, the owners of the UFC, to buy out, in some fashion, PBC's investment from Waddell and Reed. Mike Coppinger on his new gig with the Athletics. Shout out to him. By the way, he is no longer going to be working with PBC after, I think, the Pacquiao Thurman fight, and no longer with the Ring Magazine. Shout out to Mike, man, going a little bit independent there in a sense. Good for him, man.
R.I.P. the Mike Coppinger tweets with the sources.
Yeah, that's all now going to be behind a paywall now, guys. But don't worry, I paid for this monthly, so I can see Mike Coppinger basically have a bunch of tweets in one article. It's awesome, though.
I do all that reading. It's not like just a notification. Just got to do that reading shit.
That reading shit, yeah. But I think it's Kurt Emhoff asking, Kurt Emhoff from Boxing Esquire podcast, saying, what are you hearing about the rumors that PBC being bought by Endeavor? Endeavor being William Morris Endeavor, owners of the UFC. Mike replying, thanks, Kurt. Rumors are true. Al had several meetings with Ari Emanuel, Ari being the owner of Endeavor, about a potential deal. Al will still be majorly involved or majorly involved with in the same way Dana is with the UFC. Following that deal with Endeavor, there's a ton more to write about this, something that I'll cover in the coming weeks with a full-length story on the site. So, again, a confirmation of what we reported on, a few weeks ago now, Rob?
It was after the Boxing Esquire podcast they done, right? It kind of
with John Nash and Kurt Emhoff, yeah.
Yeah, rumors were around, but they kind of hit on it and sort of spoke in depth on it. And then obviously you did, I think that was a Patreon show you done, and then you've clipped it out and just put it up on the channel so people can go and check that out.
Yes, I'll probably put like a top and like highlight it on the channel so you guys can see it and see us cover more in depthly the particulars of what we've heard about the negotiations. But digressing from that, Rob, any thoughts about this? Like, again, I feel like this is just a confirmation of what we've already reported on. I don't have really any more takes on it other than I feel like it is going to happen at some point, that WME will acquire a majority rights of PBC, the brand. But what that means, what it entails, can mean a lot of different things. Also, I want to say this, for those that want to catch it, I'll clip it again, but not again, but I'll clip it for a new video. Anthony, myself, and Fugati were on last night's show talking about this story from more of a MMA angle, and it became far more of a debate than I expected. So I'll clip that out, and we'll talk about how this could affect MMA and boxing if you want to get that part as well. But Rob, thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think it. That Mike said it. He seems to have a bit more details, and obviously he's going to do a lengthy article on it. So there's obviously truth to it. Whether it's WME that do it or someone else, but it does seem to be that the PBC are looking to not sell out or sell up or whatever, but obviously bring in what would be, I guess, major investment, and have people come in and be majority share owners, but or holders. Yeah, and obviously Al will still be involved. So, the people in the chat, you know who you are. Don't worry.
It's okay.
Al's still there.
PBC is probably largely going to be run the same way.
Dana White's not going to start putting your best guys against your best guys. So leave it to Al. None of them will be fighting each other.
Anthony was like dead set, like, no, Dana White's coming. Al's gone, and that quickly became a debate. Again, I'll clip it for those who wanted to see it. It's towards the end of the show, so that's why I'll clip it. I have no further points about this, Rob. Okay, no. Moving on. Again, call in 323-870-4051. Brief mention of Kovalev Ward, because Rob put it in the topic section. I feel like we talked about this already. But the Kovalev Ward purse bid postponed again, I think, and as they're attempting to agree to a new deal. Monday, June 24th is the new purse bid date. I mean, I don't care about this fight anymore. Like, I cared about it for a brief period of time. I was like, oh, wow, they did it. Wow, and everyone's making a lot of money. Cool. Then, nope, it feels like that's just not going to happen, and both parties are notoriously difficult to deal with. So I don't have faith in this. Rob?
Well, yeah, Bob Arum told Coogan on IFL that this week everybody's in town. actually during the interview, Kathy Duva actually rang Bob Arum, and he was like, "Yeah, Kathy, I'll call you back." And that's what prompted Coogan to sort of, I think he pieced it together, like Kathy, who would be calling Kathy Duva. I mean, it could have been Bob's wife, who knows? But it was actually Kathy Duva, and he said Kathy Duva's in town, Egis Klimas, the manager. Obviously, Frank Warren's going to be in town. So everyone involved is in town, and they're going to sit down and talk about getting this fight made. So I think that's to do with the purse bids being cancelled again. I think it's like the 4th. Didn't Dan tweet something earlier?
I don't know, man. I feel like we talked about this like not yesterday, but the day before. I literally feel like we talked about them postponing this purse bid 2 days ago.
Yeah. But so yeah, that it looks like the fight. I think it would still get made. It's just where it'll be, and obviously these Russian guys, poor Yarde, he was obviously looking at $4.2 million or pounds or whatever to fight in Russia, and he was like, hell yeah, send the contract, which but Frank Warren kind of threw some other shade on it, like suggesting that maybe he said because Anthony signed up for VADA, and it was as if like, oh wait, so Kovalev isn't willing to do the VADA testing. And then he also said they haven't sent the visa yet, which can take a while, and we still haven't got it. And the fight was meant to be like the end of this month, but hopefully, they're all in town. They can get down, get this sorted out, and get the fight made. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see where it actually ends up now. Obviously, Russia's going to be sort of off the table, I think.
Agreed. Moving on.
Apparently, Bob said the WBO. I forget the president, but he said he's made me like the mediator for the meeting. Like Bob Arum's going to be like the guy to get this done. Like he's kind of been brought in to sit down with everybody and say, look, this is kind of what's happening. He's going to be making this fight happen. So
Bob Arum's the mediator.
Yeah, something like he said that's a good.
That's not going to work out. Let's be honest about that one. Speaking of not going to working out, or not being able to work out, this next opponent for Clarissa Shields is probably not going to work out. Let's be honest, because she's going to get lit up in a fight because I haven't heard of her. I'm being honest. I assume Leonard will be in the chat saying how she's awesome because of X, Y, and Z. But Shields moving down to 154 and going for a vacant belt against Ivana Habazine, and I think Shields should be the clear favorite. Shields is pound for pound the best female boxer on the planet right now. And let's be honest here, until she faces maybe a Cecilia Baracus at 154, I don't think she's going to really face a true opponent, rival, because she's levels above everyone else. It's just clear as day how good she is, how talented she is. Rob, any thoughts on Shields' fight? Also, this fight will be Showtime August 17th.
What was I going to say? It's funny how these WBO vacant titles seem to always be around. Everyone seems to be picking up a vacant WBO title. I'm just looking at her box rec, the Habazin, which I don't want to throw back to Fury saying this is for his fights for the WBO title, by the way. Please don't make that happen. She's actually fought. She lost a unanimous decision to Celia Breakhouse, Ivana. But yeah, just looking at the record, nothing hugely stand out. But who did she lose to? Michaela Lauren. Okay. But yeah, no. Shields going for another title. Why not? Just
Go belt hunt. Go create a legacy. I am really curious though when she gets sick of this because I still don't know if the industry is really pushing women's boxing in the U.S. the way it needs to be. And she's made some mentions recently about MMA. I am curious to see if those ever do pan out.
Yeah. By the way, Leonard came calling after you mentioned his name. Shields is not pound for pound the best female boxer in the world, and her opponent is lower level. Celia Breakhouse has already schooled her.
Leonard, then who is pound for pound the best female boxer in the world? you didn't give it. You said she's not that. Well, then give a response as to who is that. I hate people argue that way. Come on, it's an elementary level way of arguing, Leonard.
Blue White Boxing, Savannah Marshall, the Boogie Woman.
That was good. Moving on, Khalid Yaffe getting a next fight against a guy that no one really cares about, Norberto Jimenez on the Andrade Salisky undercard, June 29th. I feel like this does nothing for Yaffe, who at this point in time should be fighting real elite opponents at super flyweight.
This is mandatory though, right? I believe.
Yeah, I guess. Is he the actual legit WBA champion?
Yep.
Or is he just the regular?
No, he's legit.
Oh, I mean, then yeah, I guess mandatory, whatever. Who did he fight to get the vacant belt? Was it vacant? I'm assuming.
He beat.
Was it Cormina or Cremona? David Cremona?
Hang on, let me look it up. I can't remember.
Who was it? He doesn't fight anyone really elite.
He won the vacant against Lewis Conception.
That's not bad. Not enough to make me go, yeah, champ status. You need to go fight like Estrada, Rungs VI, fucking even like Ancajas. Go fight him. Anyone.
He's defended against Muranaka, Ishida, Carmona, Gonzalez, and now he's got Norberto Jimenez. I've seen a lot of Brits sort of like, oh, there we go, another UK fighter heading over to fight in America on the zone. I think there's a good section of UK fans like, well, when are we going to get to see, our guys fighting on our shores? But it
is what it is.
Eddie's kind of getting pulled.
I think Lewis Conception's not a top 5 guy. He's more like a top 10, top 15 guy. That's why not enough, but it's a good win. It is a good win. Leonard finally bringing up a name. Cecilia Brækhus, pound for pound number 1. Her longevity obviously is probably why it's a safer bet, but you look at Shields and Brækhus fighting, it's clear who's better, I would argue. You know what I mean? Like just from the eye test. Not counting title defenses, amount of years in the sport, amount of fights in the sport. Just look at how they fight, how well they fight. I think it's clear that Shields is the better fighter. I'm just being honest about that. But I'll pick Brækhus. I know it's a safe bet, Leonard. But moving on. Last topic of the day, then we're going to callers again. 323-870-4051. Press 1 to get in the queue. International callers, Skype, Mixed Combat Radio. If we have no callers, I'm going to head out and just go swimming with my kid at the pool. Because it's hot as hell here. But that Oscar Valdez card last weekend did actually the best numbers for Top Rank this entire year. Rob, are you as surprised as me?
Yes, I am.
That shitty card that I thought no one would watch actually was the most watched Top Rank ESPN card of the year. Gary calling on Skype. Wow. Gary, all right. Hold on. But anyways, Gary, I'll get to you in a second. It did 799,000 viewers average, but it also came right after the UFC prelims for the pay-per-view card, and the UFC prelims did an average of 964,000 viewers. The prelims, guys. The prelims. So, rather unfortunate there for Top Rank still to not be pulling in good numbers. Let's just be honest about it. Rob, any thoughts on these numbers?
Sorry, just some stuff in the chat. Yeah, no, good numbers. I mean, like I said, I was kind of surprised. I don't know. The card kind of slipped me. I wouldn't say aware of it, but it kind of didn't really register with me that, oh yeah, Valdez is fighting, or, that never happens in my my brain, to be honest. I'm not that high on Valdez, but
agreed.
I will be when the Frampton fight comes along, and you've got to pay me $10. But yeah, no, good numbers though. Yeah, I was surprised. It was obviously Triple G and Rolls was up against it. So yeah.
Yeah, but that doesn't count. Those are in the zone.
Come on.
Moving on. Let's get to callers. Damn, we did have a 5, I think it was a 570 number that dropped off. Sorry.
Yeah, that was Chris in the chat. Chris Brocious. He said I called, but
Chris, well, call back in, man, because now we're taking callers. Going out to Gary though, because he's been on longer.
Better late than never.
Gary.
What's going on, Matt?
Hey, what's up, man?
Is there a problem with Blog Talk?
I don't think so.
Okay, because Rob wasn't coming and you couldn't hear anything Rob said.
Oh, that's probably.
And you sounded like you were talking into like a tin can or something. Like there was like a really bad echo. I called in you guys were doing the Patreon show today, and it was the same thing. That's why I called back on this. But
then we might be having some Blog Talk issues.
All right then. Fury versus Schwartz. I heard some of that. It might be for the WBO title if Ruiz doesn't fight Joshua.
Yes.
How would Ruiz? Is the WBO mandating a rematch with Joshua? Is that? I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand the logic there.
Well, the logic is that Fury was in front of a bunch of cameras and said, hey, I think maybe the WBO belt might be on the line. Like, it might be doable. Maybe. I don't know. That's kind of what happened.
That's what I'm hearing behind the scenes. Blah, blah, blah.
Is there any truth to that?
Probably not.
Or is that just no one knows?
Probably not. Probably not any truth.
Fury did say it. That is true.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay. And that's like the other thing. Unless you're fighting Tom Schwartz, I hate this thing where people are looking past their opponent. Like you just saw this with Anthony Joshua, and Wilder's talking about fighting Fury. Like, why is Lomachenko signing contracts when he has a top 5 lightweight schedule? When is that fight scheduled for anyway? When is the Campbell fight scheduled? Does it have a date yet?
I don't think it has a date.
What, Loma Campbell?
Yeah.
Well, but he's got
August 31st, it's looking like in London.
That's my birthday.
Oh. Come to London. Come to London, Gary.
Hold on. I have a soundbite for that somewhere. Gary, keep talking. I'll find it. I'll
right.
I'll play it. Don't worry.
So he's got a real fight, not a Tom Schwartz ahead of him, a real fighter lined up. So I just hate that. It's such a bad look to take another fight. I completely overlooked that opponent. Like, he's not fighting Tom Schwartz. He's not fighting a tune-up. He's fighting a real fight. Like,
wait,
to look past that.
Hey, Gary, did you say it was your birthday?
Go shorty, it's your birthday. We gon' party like it's your birthday. We gon' sip Bacardi like it's your birthday. And you know we don't give a fuck if that's your birthday.
There you go.
Way too much 50 Cent going on there.
So, like, that, I just hate that. It's such a bad look. Like,
why?
Because you're not fighting him. You're fighting Luke Campbell. Like, worry about Luke Campbell.
Did anyone say it was a bad look when Ward and Kovalev did it?
Unless, like, you're talking about when Ward fought tune-up fights. I mean, it's still a bad look.
Yeah, but
right.
Solomon Barrera wasn't a tune-up fight, A. And 2.
That's true. Solomon Barrera wasn't.
Again, like, we remember everyone applauded that, man. Like, we're like, hey, like, we get that people want tune-ups, but make sure that fight's there. Make sure that fight is guaranteed to happen. That big fight that we want. And this is a way to do that. I don't feel like this is an issue at all. This is not a bad look, Gary.
But unless you have those 3 belts, there is no fight. So why don't you worry about defending your belts first, and then worry about
Gary. Here's a neat thing. You know, people can like multitask, right?
No, we can't. We're guys.
No, Gary. I'm telling you, an athlete like Lomachenko can fucking multitask. Okay.
I'm sure he can, right?
All right. So he can definitely train and prepare for Campbell while simultaneously having a contract in place, 3 fights, 2 fights down the line, 1 fight down the line, whatever it is. Absolutely. You know why? Because other guys have done it.
Yeah, I get it, and it's blown up on other guys too, right?
Who?
Didn't Joshua have a No, he didn't. Right? Joshua didn't have a date. I mean, people who've lost when they've had another. What's his name? The Puerto Rican featherweight that was supposed to fight Gamboa. Juan Manuel Lopez.
Yeah, but did they ever have Did they ever have a contract in place?
Yeah, they did.
That's one.
He had to beat Salido, and Salido was supposed to be a walkover.
You got one. I got Ward Kovalev.
I mean, that's kind of like on the spot.
Yeah, but I got Ward Kovalev.
Holyfield Tyson. There's two.
You mean the guys that fought multiple times?
Yeah, and then Douglas knocked them out, and then they fought 6 years later. That's not really the same thing.
But I don't think they had a contract in place for that.
Yeah, they did.
I don't think they did.
That's why when they fought the first time, it was nicknamed finally because it was the third time they were scheduled to fight. They were scheduled to fight then, and Tyson got knocked out. They were scheduled to fight when Holyfield became champ, but then Tyson got in some legal issues. And then that was the third time, so it was finally happening. Yeah, that fight was contracted twice.
I don't think it was contract. I think they were in talks for it. I don't think it was nothing was signed.
Holyfield was mandated, and this is
that's not the same.
Let me explain.
The sanctioning body mandating something has nothing to do with what we're talking about here. Nothing, Gary.
This is what's so frustrating. Like I'm literally in the middle of a sentence explaining the situation, right? And then like you tell me it has nothing to do. Like, why don't you listen to what I have to say first?
Gary, let me clue you in on something. I don't have to listen to you. Okay?
No, you don't.
I don't.
But, like, just
I don't.
talking over each other is kind of like, it's not really productive.
Gary, I'll make it easy. I'm muting you right now, so we don't have to talk over each other, okay? This is a debate show, Gary. If you don't like debating, get the fuck off. Okay? If you don't like us getting into debates, then why do you call in? Secondly, don't bring up what sanctioning bodies mandate in discussion about 2 promotion teams, 2 fighter camps signing contracts out before multiple fight or like a multi-fight deal, like in that sense, like a Ward Kovalev like deal. Those are just apples and oranges. Like, let's keep it on point. Like the Juan Manuel with not Gamboa. What's Gamboa? That one. That's a great example because you're right. There was a contract signed. That wasn't sanctioned body mandate. So Gary, if you want to debate, then debate. If you don't want to debate, then there's other shows you can call into. That will give you 3 minutes, and you can talk for those 3 minutes, and you can get hanged up on. Or you call into this show and debate and have a 30-minute call, Gary. You can decide. You're unmuted now.
First of all, like I never said I didn't want to have a debate. So that's a straw man right there. Then I never said the rematch was in place because one of the organizations mandated it. That's another logical fallacy called the straw man. Do you know what a logical fallacy is, Matt? It's an error.
Yes, Gary. Yes, Gary. I know you're getting pedantic here, and I'm going to talk over you again, okay? Sure. Because, Gary, we're going to talk over each other. You're on Skype. I'm on a different system. Get over it. Get the fuck over it. Okay? That's your number one complaint all the time is that I talk over you. I talk over Rob all the time. Do you ever hear Rob bitch about it? No. I do that to him all the fucking time. Get over it, Gary. You're a grown-ass man. Secondly, Gary, talking about straw man arguments, bringing up how a sanctioning body mandated a fight is completely different and a straw man to us talking about 2 promotional camps or 2 teams signing a contract, fights out. It's very different, Gary, and you know that. You're not muted, Gary. I didn't mute you.
Oh, I thought it was muted.
No.
Okay. Again, I never said that's why the fight was contracted. You keep saying that, right? Like, you heard me say the word mandated, and that's like, it was like tunnel hearing and everything else was just blackout. He said mandated, therefore I'm going with that. I never said that. That's why it's called a straw man.
No, Gary. This is what happened, and maybe you can correct me on what I thought happened, okay? Because maybe we're talking across each other right now, okay, over each other. I thought you said that Holyfield Tyson was signed, contract was signed. I said, no, I don't think it was. Then you came back and said, well, it was mandated. That was your response to me saying it wasn't actually signed and contracts were signed. You said, well, it was mandated. And I said, well, Gary, that's very different than contracts being signed because that's a sanctioning body mandating a fight. Do you understand how I perceive that argument? And tell me if I'm wrong in that perception.
No, what was wrong is like, I was in the middle of explaining that he had agreed to fight. Holyfield had signed to fight the champion. That's why the Buster Douglas fight happened immediately after. I don't know if the dollar signs and the networks and the date and all that were put in place, but Holyfield and Tyson had already signed to fight each other. I don't know if they were, or Holyfield had signed at least, for sure, to fight, because he was the mandatory from all three sanctioning organizations, right? And all three organizations had called their mandatory, which had to be Holyfield. That's how long ago that was. We used to get ranked by all the organizations, right? I know that Holyfield had signed it and he was getting a title shot. I don't know if Tyson's and had it signed too. Or it didn't matter because he got
digressing, Gary. Back to the point. Okay.
Yeah.
Loma doing this with Lopez is not a bad sign, or I forget the exact way you put it, but no, this is completely fine, Gary. This is.
It's a bad look. If he was fighting
it's not a bad look.
If he was doing what Tyson Fury was saying, I would say, okay, it's Tom Swartz. Like, he's not going to win. Luke Campbell's a real fight. It's just, again, I'm not saying he's committing some horrible sin. I'm just saying, just focus on the real fight that you have in front of you. And then, look, everyone's going to want to fight you anyway. So just beat Campbell and then go fight. And
what was that?
He won the
Rob. Or Gary.
Can you hear me?
Is it Gary?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. What's playing back there? You got the radio on in the background or something, or the show going on?
It popped back on.
Oh, okay. No, that's fine. I was just really confused what was going on there.
Yeah, I thought you had a crackhead in the room.
Yeah. Again, I don't think it's a mortal sin what Lomachenko did. I don't know, man. You see these upsets like just happened, and it's like just focus on the fight you have.
He can do both.
Okay, sure, but also, why would Top Rank make this fight now? Right? They're developing this kid into being a star. It's not like Loma's in real danger, right? Of being like dethroned or beaten up badly and making that fight irrelevant in the future.
So wait, Gary, hold on. Are you telling me that simultaneously Loma should be ultra concerned about Campbell, but Top Rank should be totally fine with like doing the long route with Tifo and Lopez because Loma's gonna be reigning forever. Which is it, Gary? Is Loma in danger here with Campbell, or can Loma have another contract in place for another fight down the road? Which is it, Gary?
Okay, Loma should be worried about his fight. Top Rank can worry about the future. Vasiliy Lomachenko should be worried about Luke Campbell and absolutely nothing else. If Top Rank wants to set a million things in place 100 steps down the road, then Top Rank should do that. Vasiliy Lomachenko should have one thing on his mind, in my opinion, and that's Luke Campbell.
Yeah, in your opinion.
Again, this is my opinion. Yeah.
Gary, you do understand like fighters and athletes can multitask and worry about their brand, their sponsorships while playing at a high level, winning championships. Like this isn't a foreign concept, Gary.
Okay. And again, I don't think he's going to lose, and I don't think Campbell's going to really push him that hard. What I'm just saying is Campbell's a real fight, and signing contracts means you're already thinking about other fighters while you're in the ring with Luke. And I don't want to get that's not the greatest point of my call. right? My call is, why would Top Rank do this to Lopez now? Lomachenko doesn't just beat people, he makes them quit, right? Like, we never saw Nicholas Walters again. We really haven't seen Rigo in a big fight in the 2+ years since. It's like, why put Lopez in a situation with the master who's going to make him look bad? Like, are we all acknowledging that Loma's probably going to make him look bad in this fight?
You telling me that if the guy that Teofimo Lopez will go through Richard Comey and then fight Loma will automatically look bad? No, I don't believe that's reality.
Okay. You think fighting a defensive, and I like Comey, and I think Comey is going to give him a good fight, but you think fighting Comey as the only real name on your resume,
Fighting the second best lightweight on the planet right now and beating him, yes, that does make you deserving of fighting the best lightweight on the planet. Yes,
you're
Gary.
right. You're right. I mean, Comey kind of is the second or third best lightweight, so yeah, you're right. Like, I guess that's the next logical step. There's no one.
Like, after Comey, it's a backtrack. Like, I don't like. You want that?
No, you're right. I mean, there's nobody. Like, I look at Loma a Comey as kind of like the champion you'd go get a belt off of, like the easy guy that you'd go get his belt. But there's nothing in between. You're right. He's 2. That's the next best guy. You're right. You beat him. There's only one guy left, and that's kind of the problem with pushing these guys through. So, and I guess they want to get world champions. They want to get the money and all that. But
Gary,
like,
Gary, guess what happens if Teofimo goes and fights Lomachenko next year and loses? This guy's not falling. He's a young guy. He's going to bounce back. Like, we as a community need to stop sheltering fighters. Like, we honestly need to stop doing that. Like, there's an aspect to, like, hey, like, you need to work a guy through the rankings, obviously. But in this scenario, that's what Teofimo would be doing. You know, like the Mason Menard, Diego Maddaleno, Nakatini, and then Richard Comey, and then Lomachenko. That's a clear progression in the rankings. Like, that's exactly what we want. Just because he's a young guy doing it doesn't mean that it's wrong or doesn't mean that we should be worried about it. And guess what? If he loses, who cares? Who cares? Look at Erickson Lubin. Look at how well he rebounded from the loss. Guys rebound from losses. Like, we need to stop acting like the sky is falling if guys get pushed early and lose. Look at fucking Lomachenko, the guy we're talking about here. He lost to Salido in his second fight. People were saying the sky was falling for years after that with that guy. For years we talked about how, Salido exposed him. Okay? Like, I think if there's no issue here at all with Teofimo Lopez facing Lomachenko after theoretically beating Richard Comey. And if he loses, who cares? That might even be a benefit to him in the long term. Like, there's really no negative here for Top Rank, Lopez, Loma, nothing. I think this is all positive, Gary.
Okay. And my thing is, like, I think Teofimo Lopez is special too. I think he's really, really good. And he's like, what, 20 years old? It just seems like if you throw a 20-year-old in with the Grand Wizard, the Grand Master, he's gonna make you pay, right? Like, and I think Lopez is as good as you guys do. I really do. I just think that's the wrong fight, and it could damage him down the road, right? Like, you might, like, it could. What I'm saying, the beating could be a vicious schooling that, like, puts Lopez's head in the wrong place for a long time.
I mean, losing to
that is the line. That's the line for everyone, man. God.
Let me talk. Losing to Luke Campbell is going to mess up his head. Calling Luke Campbell the Grand Wizard. I like it. Keep going, Gav.
It's just, you're right. Matt's right. If he beats Comey, there's only one other name in that division, right? And he's beaten the number 2 guy.
Yeah.
So I guess it would be ducking not to fight him. It's just, it seems real early in his career. It's like when Canelo fought Floyd. It's like, why do you have to do this now? I know that Floyd was towards the end, and if he didn't get it then, we're never going to get it. So they made it too early. But you don't have to make this fight now. That was my original point. But that's right. If he beats Comey, there's no one else in the division.
And Gary, I will say this: that Canelo Mayweather fight was the best thing for Canelo. To this day, it is.
To this day,
it is the best thing that has ever happened for his career. Even though he lost, like it doesn't matter. It does not matter that he lost.
It doesn't. Did you think? I mean, I didn't know Canelo was as great as he was. Like when Canelo lost to Floyd, I didn't say 5 years from now or how long ago that fight was. Canelo's going to be the best fighter in the world.
No, I didn't think that. I didn't think that at all. Mayweather schooled him, man. He spanked him. It was bad. You know what? And there was times where he even hurt Canelo, man. Like that was a really embarrassing performance for Canelo. Look how he rebounded, man.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about Canelo. You're right. And when Floyd got his first title shot, he got it against a guy named Gennaro Hernandez, who was undefeated in the weight class and only lost to De La Hoya at 135. And he had just beaten Azuma Nelson, like retired Azuma Nelson. They put Floyd in the ring with him. I was acting like this one. Like, this is way too soon. This is way too early. Like, you can't put him in the ring with Gennaro Hernandez now. And then he absolutely schooled and knocked out Gennaro Hernandez. But he was that great. You know, maybe Teofimo Lopez is that great where he can go out there and he can give Loma a fight. Maybe he can beat Loma. I don't know. It's just, you're right. Other fighters, great fighters, are ready for these challenges early. And even Canelo wasn't, but it didn't damage Canelo's career. So, you know, maybe he's ready, maybe he's not. And if he's not, you might be right. It might
and
have
look,
an impact on his career.
Think about this: like Muhammad Ali lost the first Frazier fight at he was 26-0 at the time, but he was I think only 25 years old, 26 years old. He wasn't that old at the time. You know, had the 3 years off, and he still is the best of all time. You know, truly the GOAT. Like guys can take years off, can take L's, and if they're great, they're great. And if they're not, they're not. And it's okay, guys. Like let them do that. Let them go through that process. Fighters take L's, and your favorite fighter has taken L's. Like that's just how it always is.
If the fight did happen, what Bob Arum said, first quarter of next year, just without seeing any other improvements or anything from Teofimo, how do you think he would do? Do you think it would be one-sided?
Yeah, I think it would be one-sided.
Rob?
Yeah. Rob, you muted. Without seeing, obviously, Lopez, Comey, if you had to pick right now, Loma, Lopez, how does it go down?
So, okay, we're getting past the a bit of fantasy play.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because obviously Campbell.
You're assuming. Just go along with the
Lopez Loma right now. I think it'll be a tough fight for Loma, but I also think Lopez will probably be exposed. And
exposed.
Yeah, look, he's exciting. But I don't think he's on the level of skill with Lomachenko. But I think he'll bring pressure to Lomachenko. But I'd probably lean Loma right now. But I do feel he's getting very injury prone. And we'll see as he's getting on with his career now. But I'll probably lean Loma right now. But maybe that'll change when we see how Teofimo goes through his eliminator and maybe
with the wizard.
Yeah, he's got with the wizard. But yeah, I'll probably lean Loma just right now. But it's tight. I think it's quite a close fight.
Gary, anything else?
I was a little surprised that Rob thinks it's a close fight. Rob really doesn't think much of Lomachenko, or at least regard him as.
You think Rob's gonna get on here and say that Loma's gonna wash Teofimo when he's rooting for Campbell to beat Loma? Like, come on, Rob has to be consistent here.
I mean, shout out, he got through Crawler.
That was a tough one too. He just that was a war, right? He had to dig deep to get past Crawler.
Yeah. I couldn't even stop.
Real quick, and then I'll hang up. What was Crawler's game plan in that fight exactly? To sit back
to box, man. He was gonna box.
He was.
He's not the Grand Wizard, but he's like the second wizard.
He was gonna be high hands, try and get in close, get his head on Lomachenko's chest, and pop up with hooks and stuff. But he just fucking bamboozled.
But remember that fight? Like he was on the back foot instantly. Loma was on him like fucking a dog on a fucking T-bone steak, man. He was ready to go.
He just could not adjust. He couldn't figure it out. That's
Poor
when you.
Crawler.
This is why these guys want to fight the best to find out where they are. And he got found out that he just wasn't in the same bracket as fucking Lomachenko, right? And who is? Will we find out? I think Campbell's going to be a tougher fight for him. Someone who can move and box on the back foot and all that. So it's going to be an interesting fight. But yeah, Crawler just found his level,
Gary.
Brilliant.
Well, okay then. Bye, Gary. Have a good one. We're going to try the 818 number and see if Blog Talk's working, because Gary says Blog Talk wasn't working. Nah, it's not working. Damn.
No, because we've gone back to medieval times and computers don't exist. What the fuck was that?
That's the Blog Talk, like...
Loot.
Like the song when, like, hey, shit ain't working, guys.
That was the Blog Talk Loot and Mandolin or whatever.
Sorry, guys. We're going to be out of here then.
Whoa, Matt.
We're not going to talk about that, are we?
Why not?
Really? Okay, fine. Let me pull it up again. I just deleted it because I'm like, nah, we're not gonna do this, are we? Okay, here it is. Rob with the breaking news here. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Well, Jim, it looks like we have a announcement. It looks like Anthony Joshua is now ranked number 3 with the WBC. Yeah, I mean, who cares? Honestly, like I don't care about this.
This could have been a whole 3-hour show.
No, it can't.
No,
For other channels, maybe, but not for this channel.
No, it's just I want as soon as he lost the bout, see, obviously he's going to get pumped in. He's just below Fury on Dillian White, and obviously the champion. So if he loses again to Andy Ruiz, where did Andy Ruiz? Did he get put in there?
No, he's not even there. I think.
Oh, he's champion, of course. So he's not going to be in their rankings, right?
No, that's WBC, bro.
That's what I'm saying. You're a champion with another
No.
bout. You're not in
yeah, in a sense, yes,
in other
yes,
divisions.
Yes.
But also, did you check the text one-on-one chat? More breaking news. It is for the WBA title.
The Intercontinental. Whoop-de-fucking-do. I don't care about this. Just move on, guys. Everyone.
PSA. I had it here for ages. You might have mentioned it earlier, but I had it here for ages while Gary was on his crazy "this is a bad look for Loma" rant.
I can't believe Gary ran on that rant. That was a bad look for Loma. I can't believe that, guys.
It's fine. Look, it's all opinions.
It's a shitty opinion.
Yeah, but you get caught up in it.
Look, guys. Here's a trick for everyone listening. 99% of what me and Rob say are opinions. You can determine whether they're good opinions or shit opinions. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. Okay? Rob, you should have really played the soundbite. That would have helped.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
And obviously, you can have your opinion on how good of opinions we have. But, yeah. Gary, that was a shit opinion. This is not a bad look for Loma at all.
This is great banter. It really is.
Anyways, guys, have a great day. Check out the new website, mixedcombatradio.com, patreon.com/mixedcombatradio. What else? Find me, Matt Hunter, MCR, all platforms. Rob?
Yeah, you can find me at UKRobMCR, Instagram and Twitter. Obviously, go over to mixedcombatradio.com. Check out the website. What else? I don't know if any of you guys noticed. There's a few of you in here. There's a super chat button now because obviously we're monetized, so you can show your support for the channel there if you want to, or you can sign up to Patreon and do it that way as well. But
and by the way, if you go to Patreon, you get extra shows every week. Like we did a show earlier today.
You do, but I haven't had a chance to go. Oh, we got a super chat. So that'll be cool one day.
We did have it one day. It was yesterday.
Yeah, but you read it out.
So you're jealous that I read it out and you didn't read it out. Oh, okay.
I want to be able to say shout out to, I don't know, Ajani,
This person not
Johnny said peace. He's going.
Dario, not a super chat, even though we're talking about super chat, saying keep it up, guys. Thank you, Dario. I've never seen you in the chat, Dario, but thank you for saying to keep it up. We will try. But Rob, sorry I cut you off.
But yeah, obviously shout out Tyson Fury doing it for the UK. I want, if possible, for him to go undisputed. So my signed boxing glove, those crazy prices, and I can sell that up. But let's go Tyson Fury.
We are Sparta!
Catch you on the next one.
Peace.
That's stupid. Use your common sense.
Stay off the weed.
Hey, pussy, are you still there?